Hi YouTube fam, welcome to Chef Lifestyle. Today we are going to make one of the most delicious desserts in Ghana, Abele Walls. I'm sure kids enjoy it, adults enjoy it, and this recipe right here is the one you need to wow the whole family, especially the kids. Here I'm showing you all the ingredients that I'm going to be using for the abele. I've first shown you the all-purpose flour. Now I'm going to add some butter, sugar, milk powder. I'm also going to add whole milk. This time I'm going to use happy milk, which is a lactose free milk, so if you're lactose intolerant, this is a great option for you. I'm also going to add some condensed milk. Yes, a lot of ingredients happening over there. And then finally I'm going to add some water. I'm going to leave all of the ingredients I used to make the abele walls plus the measurements I used to achieve the results in the description box, so definitely do check it out for all the details. To get started, I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour into my pot, and then I'm going to add 1 cup of water. These are the measuring instruments that I use, so you can use that if you have it. I'm going to stir gently. I didn't add all the water all the way because I wanted to make sure it was enough, but then I realized that okay, I need to pour the whole thing inside the pot at this point. So you have to stir gently, and then make sure you don't stop stirring, otherwise it will develop lumps. You can see how beautiful it turned out. Next we are going to add our butter. I used unsalted butter because I don't want any salt in my abele walls. So I used about 1/4 of butter. We are going to stir that until it melts together. So we're going to do that for about 5 minutes, and then we can take it off the fire. But then check the consistency first. You can see that mine is looking very everything is mixed together. So at this point you can take it off the fire, as you can see me doing. Once you take it off the fire, I've seen people say allow it to cool, but then for this particular video I didn't allow it to cool. I transferred it into a bowl right away and I started adding my ingredients. So just do what works for you, but then just know that for mine I didn't allow it to cool. So once I transfer everything into the bowl like this, I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar, and then I'm going to add the condensed milk that you saw in the beginning, and then I'm going to give that a good mix. Make sure that you are using a good whisk so that you can mix everything together beautifully. Once you feel like your mixture is well done, like mine is looking so beautiful, you can set that aside. And next I brought in my whole milk. I'm going to be using lactose free milk. It's called happy milk. You can find it in all the big supermarkets in Ghana. So I used 200 ml of happy milk, and then as you can see, this is the measurements I used. I also added 1 cup of milk powder to it, and then I stirred everything together. This mixture was so good. You're gonna stir this together till you get like a good consistency. You can use a whisk at this point, and then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to transfer this mixture into the flour mixture, and then mix thoroughly till it also gets like a very consistent texture. Then you also put that aside. So you can see me doing that. Please, when you are whisking, be careful because you don't want it to develop lumps. At this point I was just mixing so I felt like it was looking good, and then it got to a point where I felt like it was too thick. So you can do 2 things: either you add more milk or you add some water to make it a bit lighter. You don't want it to be too heavy, otherwise it becomes too thick. And fun fact, when I went to the market to buy the cups for the abele walls, there's this particular stick that they use to, when you put in the mixture, you need to put in a stick so that when you're removing it, it's easy. I wasn't able to get some, and that stick is very Asian. I don't want to say Asian, but then it's like in the olden days that's what was used to, people used to brush their teeth and all that. I didn't get that, so I used like toothpick sticks, but then the bigger ones, like the ones that they use for skewers. So this is the cups that I'll be using. It's just disposable cups, but then the smaller ones, that's what I'll be using for my recipe. But if you have any other different cup you want to use, that's absolutely fine. So next I'm going to be transferring my mixture into the cups. I pour the mixture into the measuring cup because it's easier to pour from that than to pour it from a bowl. That one you might mess it up. So that's exactly what I am doing here, just pouring it, trying to get the same quantity for each of them, even though some is more than others. But then I mean, it should be halfway. You can do full if you think you have a stick that is strong enough to pull it if it's full. I used half because the sticks that I used were very tiny, and I was praying to God that it wouldn't fail me, but then it came out really, really great. So now everything is done. I'm going to be putting in our sticks. So this is the stick I was talking about. This is the tiny sticks. I had to break them into two. So I placed all the sticks. As I said, I had to break them into two so that it's strong enough to pull it when it's time. Once you do that, I'm then going to put the sticks in all of them, and then now transfer that into your freezer. For freezing, I freezed mine overnight, but then I think within 2 to 4 hours it was ready, but I wanted to be sure that it was actually frozen, so I kept it overnight, and this was the result. It came out so well. So now it's time to review if our abele walls was a success, which you can already see it is. So I'm going to pour some water into a bowl, and then I'm going to put the cups into them, and then we're going to take it out and then enjoy. So that's exactly what you can see me doing. Now it's time for the big reveal. I'm now taking one of them out of the cups. Look at how good it looks, guys. I was so impatient to finish it and then to try it and to have my first bite. So I took it out of the container here, and it came out so well. It was so delicious. I'm not joking, guys. Give this recipe a try. Use happy milk and you would see the difference. I hope you enjoyed this recipe. Bye.